Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. What you are looking at is my Facebook page, actually my Richard Hunter Facebook page, although I believe I have this photo on my Colonel Richard Hunter Facebook page as well. What you're looking at is a photograph of out-of-work miners, coal miners, and their families and affected people from the community. Down in Bell County, Kentucky, over the weekend, they had a rally, and it was called, I believe it was called Hands Across the County or Hands for Coal. And what they did was they went out along the stretch of Highway US 25 or 25 East. It stretches from one end of the county to the other, and they literally had people all along that route, from Knox County, Kentucky, all the way to Cumberland Gap, Kentucky. We're talking a whole, I think they said something like 20,000 people. This is one county. By the way, Pike County, Kentucky is going to be doing the same thing, and hopefully it starts to snowball. The whole purpose of this rally is to try to draw attention to the fact that there's a whole industry that's been destroyed with tens of thousands of people who have lost their jobs. I know people who follow my channel have heard this before. But the fact of the matter is that mainstream media is not following this. They are not reporting on this. I've heard Rush Limbaugh talk about the war on coal. I've heard Mark Levin talk about the war on coal. But I'll be honest with you, I've not heard anybody from the mainstream media talk about it at all. So these people, these affected miners and families and community, listen, we're talking whole communities. Let me tell you something about Bell County, Kentucky, and this representative of all of Southeast Kentucky, West Virginia, a lot of Tennessee, Southern Ohio, Southeast Ohio, Pennsylvania, all through the Appalachian area. Coal is king. Coal is their main jobs. That's where the tax base comes from. Okay? And here's the thing. Obama has destroyed this industry, and he hasn't even offered up one retraining program. Nothing. He's left them to twist. I'm not surprised, because he's pretty much what he is, but the fact of the matter is that nobody's covering this. You know, these communities, okay, these communities like Bell County or Pineville, Kentucky, or Middlesboro, Kentucky, these communities rely on coal. They rely on the tax base for everything, from schools to roads to everything. The housing. You know, coal miners have the more expensive houses, which pay the most money into the property tax, which the county survives on. You know, this is huge. This is absolutely huge, and nobody's talking about it. That's what made these people, 20,000 people, show up to stretch themselves from one side of the county to the other, hoping and praying that the media would take notice. And the only people in the media that's taking notice are non-mainstream, fringe people in the media like myself. People like Rush Limbaugh. People like Mark Levin. People like Savage. You know, we're taking notice of this. Not that I should probably put my name in with theirs, but what I'm saying is non-traditional media. But, you know, so where was CNN? Where was NBC News or MSNBC or CBS? Any of those? Where were they? You know, meanwhile, you've got tens of thousands of people that aren't even sure how they're going to put food on their table. I suppose eventually they'll all be on a government check, but I don't think, you know, it's interesting. You look at this picture. Let me zoom in on it a little bit. You look at this picture. Can you imagine this line of people going all the way from one end of the county to the next? Can you even imagine that? You know, I mean, think of your county. Think of a highway that runs through your county, and then think of people being side by side through the entire length of your county. These are desperate people trying desperately to get the world's attention. They're dying. They're suffering. They don't know what's going to happen. All they know is that Obama's war on coal is destroying their life, is destroying their communities. Who's going to replace this tax base? Those outsourced Fisker jobs to what, Finland? Is that going to replace the tax base in Bell County? Or Harlan County? Or Pike County? Or anywhere through Appalachia? Seriously? Who's going to pay for the schools? Who's going to pay for the roads? Who's going to pay for the sewers? Who's going to cut the grass on the side of the roads? I mean, you know, I don't think people have thought this out. Well, listen, it ain't people. I don't think Obama's thought this out. The nut job left-wing lunatics that he's put in charge at the EPA, They don't care. They don't. They're on record as saying that people are going to have to suffer in order to accept the new energy, which, by the way, is non-existent and extremely expensive when it is here. It just amazes me. Absolutely amazes me. People, we've got to wake up to this nonsense. We've got to wake up to this nonsense. How do you completely destroy a whole industry? These people are not out of work because their jobs were outsourced. These people are not out of work because they couldn't compete in their industry. These people are out of work because of policies from Obama's EPA, who has literally waged a war on coal. Period. That's why these people are out of work. Try getting a mining permit today in today's world. Try getting a mining permit from the Army Corps of Engineers. See how far you get. How much money you have to spend to even try to get one. Try to run a coal plant. Power plant. Which reminds me, I've got 2 coal plants within 5 miles of where I live in Toledo, Ohio. Both of them are shutting down. Both the workers at those plants have lost their jobs. They can't burn the coal. They can't use the plant. It won't work. The EPA's regulations are too strict. It's amazing to me that there isn't outrage from East Coast to West Coast. It is absolutely amazing to me. It's amazing to me that there is not outrage from the Rio Grande to Lake Superior. It's just absolutely amazing to me. Well, maybe not that amazing since the mainstream media isn't touching this with a 10-foot pole. Because Obama can't explain it away. He can't. He can't explain it away. Oh, they'll try. They'll say, well, if it wasn't for the price of natural gas, bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I remember exactly when the light switch got shut off. And it had nothing to do with the price of natural gas. Not to mention, here's a little tidbit for you Americans out there. The only reason natural gas is as cheap as it is because of fracking. And the same people who have been waging a war on coal, believe you me, if Obama gets a second turn, will be waging a war on fracking. So you watch natural gas go from about $2.50 a thousand cubic foot up to about 18 overnight. Without fracking, the natural gas goes through the roof. Coal has its place, always has. The only reason that it's not a viable option right now is because the EPA won't let it be. I mean, this is sad. Because, even with the price of natural gas, the capacity is not there. Literally. There's not enough natural gas generating power facilities to make up the difference for the coal. It's just, the whole thing is just FUBAR. It's unbelievable. Obama has no energy policy other than letting the green nut jobs control the EPA. He has, this crony capitalism scam that he was running with these so-called green jobs, giving a shit ton of money to Fisker so they can go and open up a plant in Finland. How do you like that one? And they talk about Romney outsourcing jobs? Holy crap. How many salaries are we subsidizing at the Fisker plant in Finland? Which, from what I hear, rumor is going to shut down anyway. So who's fleecing the government? Oh, well, I know who's fleecing the government. All of Obama's cronies. I mean, I almost hate to keep using the name Solyndra, but it does kind of roll off the tongue. Solyndra. $500 million. Meanwhile, these good, hardworking Americans in Bell County are standing on the side of the road begging for the media to come and see their plight. Begging. While the fat cats that are in bed with Obama, well, they're eating fat. They're eating big at the table. They're ordering the surf and turf on the taxpayer's dime. That's right. It's pathetic. Good, hardworking American people are suffering because of the policies of Barack Hussein Obama. There's no other way to look at it. Somebody needs to stop this madness. And those of you who think you can sit on the fence on this one and go, well, I am not going to choose the lesser of two evils. I didn't do it in 08 and I won't do it in 12. Freaking retard. God, I hate people like that. If you think for a second that we wouldn't be better off today with John McCain as president than we are with this idiot in the White House, then you got screws loose and you shouldn't vote at all. You're not capable of voting. I'm going to write in Ron Paul. Just today, somebody was telling me that Ron Paul's the only one that can win against Obama. And I had to type in, listen, I like Dr. Paul, but you know what? He got his ass kicked in the primaries. In his own party. And then they said, well, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Hold on now. They cheated him. They ripped him off. I said, really? So they cheated Ron Paul in the primaries. And he didn't stand up for himself. He didn't scream from the top of... I mean, the man's got some lungs. I've seen it. Well, if that's the case, then he's not half the man that I ever gave him credit for being. People, we've got to unite. I'm sick of hearing about Ron Paul. I'm sick of hearing about abstaining from voting as a protest. You know, and people saying, well, you know, my state's going to go one way, or it's going to go one way or the other anyway, so it doesn't really matter, blah, 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 bullshit. You keep telling yourself that. You want to protest, vote against Obama, then vote for Mitt Romney. And pray to God Mitt Romney wins. I've never said that I'm a fan of Mitt Romney's. I have never said that. But look at the people standing on the side of this road. Damn it, we need to do something. Alright, that's all I got for you. I'm sorry for the rant. I just really wanted to open up some people's eyes that there are people out there suffering under the Obama administration. You know, and sometimes it just really frustrates me when I hear people say, well, there's really no difference between Romney and Obama. Tell these people at the side of the road that there's no difference between Romney and Obama. Tell them that. I wouldn't do it personally because you're liable to find yourself in the middle of that road getting run over. I don't know, people. You know, this is going to be a hard fight. It's going to be tough. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to do my part. And in the end, I will be able to sleep at night knowing that I did everything I could possibly do. So, anyway, everybody, I hope you're having a good night. Take care.